Tonight we got a guest lecturer for Post-Pandemic World Order series, and she is Siham Kafafi, Dr. Siham Kafafi from New Zealand, far away from Turkey. She is lecturing in New Zealand, originally from Egypt, but for long years she settled down in New Zealand. She will lecture us in short conference about e-learning and sustainability in post-pandemic period. Yes, please, Dr. Kafafi.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for your introduction and for inviting me to participate in your video conference, sharing my views with you and other colleagues and students in relation to the impact of the COVID-19 on the new normal and how it's shaping the future of the global education. I would like to start by providing a historical background about the e-learning, followed by the current situation eventuating from the coronavirus pandemic and its effect on the e-learning. Finally, I will share with you my point of view in relation to the role of this pandemic on e-learning and how we can utilize this crisis as a tremendous opportunity in the digital world to prepare the future workforce. So, as we all know, with the introduction of the computer in the internet in the late 20th century, the e-learning tools and delivery methods started expanding. So the first Mac in the 1980s enabled individuals to have computers in their homes, which made it easier for them to learn about particular subjects and develop certain skill sets. In the early 1990s, several schools set up and delivered courses online, thus bringing education to people who previously were not able to attend colleges for various reasons. It could be geographical reasons or time constraints. In the 2000s, businesses also started using e-learning to train their employees. New and experienced workers alike had the opportunity to improve upon their industry knowledge base and also expand their skill sets. At home, the individuals were granted access to programs that offered them the ability to earn online degrees and at the same time enrich their lives through expanding their knowledge. So, what I would like to say is that we can see that technological innovations and computer evolution radically changed the learning landscape. So e-learning offered the ability to share material in all kinds of formats like videos, slideshows, Word documents, PDFs, webinars, live online classes, and all variable techniques for users. A good example, Dr. Ahmed, is right now how we are communicating. You are in Turkey while I'm in New Zealand, and still we can communicate live and share information and knowledge digitally. So with the spread, what is the current status right now? With the spread of the coronavirus pandemic globally, governments started taking measures by asking people, stay home, be safe. We always hear this statement all over the world, stay home, be safe. Accordingly, there has been this global collective response to this pandemic. The key thing here was to strike a balance between the economic situation and saving lives in the face of this pandemic, with lots of lives lost worldwide. So, what is the impact of COVID-19 on online learning? COVID-19 pushed the internet use by 70% and the streaming more than 20%. Accordingly, there's been a huge revamp in the progress for online learning due to that spread of COVID-19, which forced most of the world to be in lockdown and to stay home, we have to also consider a very important factor of which is social distancing. To me, I believe, yeah, everybody says social distancing, but it's actually physical distancing. The schools, the universities were shut down and restored to use what they started using online learning. So accordingly, the crash courses has been everywhere for both students and educators to use technology and to be able to go on with online learning. Some of the tools that have been used heavily to disseminate online learning since the COVID-19 was video conferencing platforms. The one we're using right now, Zoom and WebEx. Also, there is learning management systems, Canvas, Blackboard, Google, Classroom, Microsoft Teams. Lots of people are using it these days. And softwares like of Proctoria, which is a Google Chrome extension that monitors students taking exams online. So I would like now to give you an example of the exponential increase of the global digital use, which could provide an opportunity for the growth of the e-learning. So if you can just, I'm going to share with you my screen to share screen so that you would see that figure. So if we're going to look at that figure, which demonstrates the global digital population, that was in April last month, and it was mentioning the percentages of the increase on active internet users, unique mobile internet users, active social media users, and active mobile social media users. So what does that figure actually tell us? It shows that almost 4.57 billion people have been active in using the internet in April, as of April 2020, which constitutes 59% of the global population. It also demonstrates to us that China, India, and the United States, they are ranking ahead all the other countries in internet using. So this internet is connected billions of people worldwide, which is a core for the modern information society, which can show us the importance of how many people could be using e-learning. Also, if we are going to look at that figure, and this has been compiled by the International Telecommunication Union also in April 2020, and it shows the growth of individual use of internet from 2005 to 2019. So if you look at 2005, it was 16.8%, and then it reached 53.6%, and that shows also a great increase. So taking it from there, I would like also to mention that there has been a future trend. We can look at a future trend of the e-learning. So we will be requiring the use more of the following techniques. And these are some of them to name, like micro-learning, gamification, video modules, tailored learning paths, learning management systems, and learning communities. Those are just to name some of the techniques of e-learning that would actually increase in the future. I would like to also present now some of the benefits and the challenges of e-learning to encourage the education institutes to embrace information technology, to equip the students with the critical required e-skills for both their job today and their future jobs of tomorrow. Because due to this pandemic, we need to be prepared to be working from home via digital engagement. So let's start first by discussing what are the benefits of the online learning. Well, as we all know, everybody nowadays in this era is loving the screen. And lots of people are glued to the screen. Online courses revolves around the screen. So the studies also shows that humans learn better by seeing and hearing. So online courses, media features such as video, graphics, and other illustrations are also good attraction. So online learning frees the students to work at their own pace, and it gives them the time for other things to do. So they are, in other words, using their time more effectively. It also encourages more interaction. So even the introverts feel free to interact, and they're using e-learning methods from home. These online courses also can cater to unlimited numbers of students. As we all know, the traditional ways, you have limited enrollments in your class. But with this virtual world, anybody can be enrolled. So it is less expensive and time saving. So no travel costs, and it's very affordable, unlike the traditional learning methods. So we all know that everything has got also its challenges. So what are the digital challenges of online learning? The digital divide problem in education is not new, we all know that, but is magnified by COVID-19 pandemic and all school closures. So the following are some of the issues that has been encountered. Some of the students, because this happened all of a sudden, they don't have computers. Some of them, they don't have broadbands. Some students lack the structure. They lacked the required discipline, which is essential for online learning. Also, there is no catering for students with disabilities and impairments. There is also lack of technical training on online management systems and platforms. So, how are we going to deal with this? We need some cultural changes that is required to benefit from the online learning. So for example, the first and most important one is discipline. The online learning is less hand-holding, not like the traditional educational system. So it requires a certain type of students with specific characteristics in order to succeed on the online learning. Students who are self-reliant, who are confident, persistent, and committed. Also, the learning is going to be digitalized. So using online textbooks instead of paper textbooks, which could be a great savior and saving a lot of money for both educational institutions and students. Also, the educational institutions should go digital and change their systems accordingly. So they will be also requesting a new generation of instructors, right? In order to meet this digital system of online learning requirements. Also, analytics will become more prevalent using learning management systems to enable a higher level of effectiveness for both students and educators. So what I'm trying to say here is that there should be a mind shift towards the new digital culture to enable educational institutions, educators, and students to succeed in adopting this new era of online learning. So I would like to recommend that the education systems should not go back to that traditional system of learning once this situation of COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic is ended. It will be ending, but we should not go back to our old traditional system. all educational institutions should consider investing in e-learning technologies and encourage blended programs so that the educational systems can easily adapt to future pandemics like coronavirus. So, finally, I would like to mention that in order to succeed and survive in this new digital implementation system, the following is required. A suitable style of leadership, number one. Number two, a solid economic forecasting. And number three, a financial resilience to fund this e-learning. And on that note, I would like to thank you, and I would like to hand over to you again, Dr. Ahmed.
Oh, thank you very much, Siham. You are in a very early morning over there, but it's very early, 2 o'clock in the morning in Turkey, Muğla. There are a couple of maybe remarks, and just to some addition. Yes, absolutely. There won't be any back. There will be improvement in e-learning more. Maybe the technology for virtual classes must be improved for better communication with students, because in some cases there is we are just not connected and just touch them easily. But we'll see, because we're in the middle of something and we don't know the end yet, and there will be another pandemic in coming months. Maybe we don't know yet. But you are quite lucky in New Zealand. Very, very sustainable management of pandemic crisis. Anyway, thank you very much. Siham.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Thank you. It was great actually to join in your video conferencing. Thank you very much for this opportunity.